Denise Scicluna. I'm an art psychotherapist and abstract painter based in London, and I'm part of the Forma Mentis project organised by the Gabriel Caruana Foundation.
My name is Pietru. I practice as a trainee psychotherapist in the Gestalt tradition, and my journey to Gestalt has really inspired a lot of the work that I do artistically as well.
Jiena Gabriel Buttigieg, ġejt mitlub minn Gabriel Caruana Foundation sabiex inkun mill-parteċipanti li ħanoħloq serje ta' eżerċizzi li ħanelabora l-importanza tas-saħħa mentali. Ġejt magħżul għal-fatt li għandi background fil-psikoloġija, għal-fatt li jiena kreatur, artist viżiv u għal-fatt li jien uman.
So the theme that I've chosen to share with you is the theme of self-support, and what does it mean to find support in ourselves, in our bodies, but also in our communities and in our networks of friends and family.
The theme that I'm presenting in this project is the theme of getting unstuck. So it will be pretty much about exploring ways to reveal things about ourselves when we're feeling stuck in life. So this would be like it could be a simple situation in life which is causing us to feel stuck. It could be something bigger, but it's about exploring the theme of moving forward to art making and lots of reflection while engaging in art.
Iddeċidejt li għal dawn l-eżerċizzi nifoka fuq the self. Issa the self huwa kunċett daqsxejn astratt, huwa kunċett holistiku, l-opinjoni tagħna fuq nfusna, l-opinjoni ta' ħaddieħor fuq nfusna, the self in relation to others, il-ħsibiet tagħna, kif aħna nadattaw ma' ħaddieħor u ma' nfusna kif ninbidlu. U allura għal dawn l-eżerċizzi iddeċidejt li nifoka fuq the self.
To be supported means to be encouraged to grow and to thrive, sometimes in environments which might make that difficult.
We've all felt a little bit stuck or unsure of things in our life. So I really want to present something that's really realistic, something that everyone can relate to, and everyone has experienced at some point in their life, including myself, including probably all therapists and people working in mental health as well. Yeah, this theme, generally speaking, does come out in my practice as an art therapist and also as an abstract painter. So when it comes to my painting practice, the focus is pretty much on the painting process, the creative process, as opposed to the outcome. So for me, the process of art making has always been about personal growth, personal development, and exploring aspects of myself. Then in my art therapy practice, at the same time, a client is usually invited to safely express themselves creatively in the presence of an art therapist, and they would also bring in certain difficulties, certain challenges, and it's through art that they start to make sense of things, and also thanks to the therapist who's kind of inviting the client to explore the picture with him or her.
Support is something we're constantly exposed to. I mean, we live in worlds saturated with support. That can be positive support to do things which are beneficial, ennobling, or it can be problematic when we are supported in behaviors which are difficult and painful. I think confronting support in this ambivalent way is part of my life. So obviously it's part of the creative expression that I practice. And it's something which most of my clients, of course, want to discuss. How can we prioritize positive forms of support while addressing more problematic kinds of support for behaviors which we would rather leave behind or grow out of?
Permezz tal-kreattività, permezz tal-arti viżiva u permezz ta' diversi forum tal-arti, biet theater, biet music, aħna nkunu kapaċi nagħmluhom iżjed tangibbli, iżjed konkreti u fuq kollox aħna nkunu nistgħu niġu iżjed intaċ mas-sitwazzjoni kemm ta' madwarna kif ukoll ma' nafusna.
Obviously, in my career as an art therapist, I really strongly believe in the therapeutic aspect of any form of creativity, and I also think that everyone is capable of being creative, whether people recognize it or not. So that's a very strong belief that has inspired me to create these activities for this project as well.
Tħalli ċertu affarijiet toħorġu b'ċertu komdità. Ovvjament, dawn l-eżerċizzi mhux se jkollhom a standard of fis-sens x'inhu tajjeb x'mhux ħażin, dik kull ma tkun eżerċizzju biex aħna niskopru lil nafusna u nkunu komdi letteralment naraw x'joħroġ.
All of these exercises can easily be done at home. All you need is a piece of paper, a pencil, and your imagination. One of the things that I certainly put into the crafting of these exercises is how accessible can they be. No matter age or aptitude, you can definitely do this.
We'll also be using magazines, so you can grab any kind of magazines that you find at home. Paint, you don't need expensive oil paint or anything like that. You can, make use of cheap art materials, so we do not need any fancy or expensive art materials to do these activities.
Bħala materjal dan se tuża li trid, mill-lapes sa charcoal sa pastel sa żebad doesn't really matter. Inti bħal met qabel ħad iskopri fil-proċess ta' x'inhu huwa relevanti għalik. Hija katartika, hija esperjenza katartika fi aħna qed noħorġu l-affarijiet, nirriflettu fuqhom, niddiskutuhom u eventwalment nitalmu iżjed fuqna nfusna permezz ta' dawn l-eżerċizzi.
Of course, these exercises can be performed by yourself or in a group. That might be difficult because of the pandemic, which has taken over the world at the moment.
Ideally, with a facilitator or some form of some type of professional or mental health practitioner in the room, because even though these activities could be fun and explorative, they might trigger, strong emotions in people, and if they're particularly vulnerable, then they might need further support.
Però ovvjament, ma tista' ssir both ways, kemm under supervision u kemm waħdek. L-importanti li l-persuna jħossu komdu jagħmel dawn it-tip ta' eżerċizzi.
I also wanted to add that although these activities have a therapeutic element to them, they don't in any way replace actual therapy. So if someone is really struggling with what emerges from these activities, then I'd suggest that that person seeks professional help. So these activities are inspired by art therapy, but in no way do they replace the actual therapy work. Finding a really quiet space in your house is probably the biggest, most basic tip that I can give. I suggest also painting, sitting down on the floor and doing art on the floor. I personally really enjoy that. You can put on some calming music, maybe some candles or an incense stick, and just really, be with yourself and with your emotions, and have some time to kind of sit with yourself before starting, and just don't rush through the art making process.
I think the most important thing to bear in mind when exploring this exercise, and I'm sure any other exercises with an art therapeutic approach, is to make sure that you give yourself space to relax. Give yourself permission to let go, to enjoy the time that you've set aside for the exercise, and to be present.
Go in with an open mind and try not to take that voice in your head very seriously, because the inner critic does come out, especially if we're not used to making art. And it is not about having a nice aesthetic picture. It's more about the process and having fun and enjoying and seeing what comes out.
Huwa vjaġġ sabiħ, jista' jkun daqsxejn nieqes, però da għandek il-libertà kollha li tieqaf tħalli ftit żmien u tkompli meta jogħġbok.